Well, South Africans, as we all know, are paying as much as 20 Rand for a litre of petrol. It hurts every time we say it, doesn't it? It's a record high, of course. It means you're also going to have to pay a lot more for essentials like food and everything else that we buy because there's transport costs involved. Well, the Finance Minister, Godongwana, is now calling for changes to how the fuel price is calculated. Remember as well, apart from what it costs to actually buy the fuel and produce it, there's a lot of taxes and levies involved in this. Committee on Mineral Resources and Energy been discussing this. So what have they been discussing? Well, let's speak to the chairperson, Mr. Sahlulele Luzipo. Mr. Luzipo, good morning, and I hope you're going to give us all very good news. There's going to be a reduction in the petrol price because we're going to take away levies and all the government taxes as well. Is that what's going to happen?
Good morning to you, Mr. Edwards, and the viewers at home. Look, unfortunately, we are just a committee of parliament. In terms of what can be made as a determination, it can only be done by the executive authority. But obviously, we have been seized with this matter, not just only from this year. We have always been busy with, as a committee, to say we need to find the best formula that can assist in terms of the fuel cost. Amongst other issues, obviously, is the point that we seem to be declared incapable of dealing with external factors. From a committee point of view, which is why we said we need to now get as much views on what is it that can be done in order to deal with some of these issues. But as you know, the question of regulation will remain an executive authority matter, not of a committee of parliament.
No, absolutely. I mean, of course, I wasn't expecting you to say, yes, Gareth, there's no taxes for fuel from Christmas. Merry Christmas. Have a good 2022. But what are the options available, Mr. Luzipo? Let's take a look at what those are. I just take a quick look at some notes I have on my phone. I'm seeing 4 of these. I know Leighton Beard from the AA is going to be watching. He's going, Gareth, give the chairperson all 4. We have 1, a complete review. We also have 2, deregulation. We also have 3, a petrol price cap, could be an option as well. Or 4, a halt on tax increases. So, Mr. Luzipo, I put to you 4 options. Which of those is the easier pill to swallow for your committee so far?
You are putting me in a difficult situation. As a chairperson, I cannot give something that the committee has not made a recommendation of. But let me just help and say there are other areas. Obviously, for an example, we're still of the view that is the issue of the road accident fund properly located, because we believe it is just part of the tax regime that you have. The issues that relate to the retail and wholesale margin is another matter that we think is a matter that we'll have to look at. We have also to look at the taxes that relate or charges that relate to storage and distributions. So if we deal with this issue, from a committee point of view, is that we need to find a long-lasting solution. For instance, if you say you put the road accident fund through the fuel price, and on the other side we are talking about, for an example, electric charge cars, then why don't you locate this within the tax regime as far as the sale of or purchase of vehicles? Secondly, is one of the things that we've raised. If you look, we've got some refineries that exist and companies of government. Shouldn't we be looking on the issue of improving our storage facilities so that we can have what we use to talk about the strategic stock?
Yes.
Unfortunately, we have got a bad experience where the strategic stock was sold, and which is why we have said those who have made such an erroneous decision.
And I suppose I imagine, Mr. Luzipo, forgive me for coming in, I don't mean to interrupt, I do need to let you go in a moment, because there's a lot you have to deal with. This is not an easy solution, I realise that. Let's make it the last 30 seconds I have with you. I imagine the Finance Minister is going to want an answer or some kind of resolution and some kind of decision from your committee soon. What is your timeline before I let you go, to go back to the Finance Minister with some kind of solution?
Look, obviously, we have even set up a meeting immediately after the budget vote, but we've got these proposals that we think that will emerge. Remember, we'll have to look whether also is there a need to introduce a legislation or an amendment in legislation. Those are the things that obviously the committee will have finalized, but we have also convened a meeting where we will look at all the stakeholders to say, can they also assist and bring their own ideas on how to mitigate against the fuel crisis that we are facing as a country.
Well, I appreciate your time in speaking to us. I'm sure we'll speak again closer to budget time. Mr. Sahlulele Luzipo joining us, chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Mineral Resources and Energy, and he's going to be one of the people that's going to look at some number of suggestions put forward by the AA to try and relook at how the fuel price is put together. Not just the price of the petrol, it's the levies, the taxes, everything else that goes into it. So we wait.